Hello everyone, and welcome to my Duel Today official news channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Reconnecting with Abe and Paulina, John being cornered, Stefan and Ava's error, and more. Days in our lives. After all this time, Abe Carver and Paulina Price appear to finally have a connection in the Monday, February 5th spoilers. Will it be enough? Constantine Meliones will have John Black cornered. Ava Vitali and Stefan Dimera are shocked by what they have done. Days in our lives. Since Colin Bedford struck Abe in the head with a rolling pin the previous year, spoilers indicate that Abe and Paulina have not exactly been on the same page. Even worse, a crazy woman abducted Abe and misled him into thinking she was Paulina, not Pauline. When Abe eventually discovered the truth, nothing changed. After all this time, Abe and Paulina are finally going to have a wonderful night together. Abe is prepared to restart their life together after gradually rediscovering his love for his wife. Ultimately, Paulina's cancer diagnosis is frightening, and Abe wants to express his love for her to her. Are Abe and Paulina going to make the right decision this time around? John has a meeting scheduled with Constantine, who is posing as a new client. But Constantine is waiting to see John's response to the card he discovered among Victor Kiriaki's belongings. Ultimately, it appears that Constantine played a significant role in that pawn, at least, that's what Steve Johnson thinks. Constantine, what are you up to? As this is going on, Stefan and Ava are going to get sober and start to wonder what they did before their memories start to flood back. How is Stefan going to explain this to Gabby Dimera now that Ava and Stefan's fictitious affair isn't so fictitious after all? If Tripp Johnson discovers them together, what will happen? At long last, Everett Lynch is making his way back into Stephanie Johnson's life. Sadly, Stephanie is unaware of Everett's earlier actions as Bobby, the spouse of Jada Hunter, Elia Cantu. When they first met years ago in Seattle, Everett has only ever lied. Will Stephanie discover this? Last but not least, Johnny Dimera is overanalyzing Chad Dimera's, Billy Flynn, counsel over Chanel Dupree. Although Johnny adores Chanel, Chad makes him reconsider being married to her. Will Johnny's refusal to propose to Chanel again cause her heart to bleed? If Johnny harms Paulina's daughter once more, will she take him to task? The pawn, Johnny's deepest fear, and Ava and Stefan's pact are all back. According to the Monday, February 5th spoilers for Days of Our Lives, Stephanie Johnson won't regret putting Everett Lynch to bed. Since he won't regret beating Stephanie with the sheets either, Everett will be happy to hear it. Stephanie might acknowledge that she has loved Everett and maybe never really quit. Since Stephanie thought Everett had simply vanished without warning, things have gotten more problematic, but, now that she is aware of the truth about his coma, things have changed. Everett will be happy to see Stephanie give in to her emotions and allow herself to trust him since she is making an effort to move on from the past and concentrate on the future. Of course, with their terrible hangovers and mutual regret, Ava Vitali and Stefan Dimera's steamy afterlife will be far less enjoyable. When Ava and Stefan discover how much they went too far by sleeping together, Ava will make sure that no one ever finds out. Stefan won't want Gabby Hernandez Dimera to know that he broke their marriage vows, so that should be all right. It's unfortunate that secrets in Salem often explode with disastrous results, so Ava and Stefan better be ready for a big show. Spoilers for other days indicate that once they become intimate once more, Abe Carver and Paulina Price will progressively return to their regular relationship. Even though he doesn't have the memories he's still missing, Abe is starting to feel more like Paulina's spouse than he did before. Johnny Dimera will keep hearing Chad Dimera's menacing comments in his brain while Paulina and Ava develop a deeper bond. Days spoilers indicate Johnny will think twice before marrying Chanel Dupree because he would be devastated if he made her a target by bringing her into the Dimera family. Johnny will have a lot to think about because he has committed to Chanel and doesn't want to hurt her heart. Days teasers state that following a confrontation with Constantine Meliones, John Capellos, in the park, John Black will become enraged enough to pull out a gun, revealing a breathtaking tale from Greece. Constantine will discuss John's tenure as the pawn and his menacing gaze throughout that period. Fans of DOL can also anticipate Constantine to refer to someone as Katharina, flash the red card, and make ominous remarks. When his brainwashing is activated, John will abruptly revert to the pawn, therefore Constantine will test him by having him place a gun to his own head. But Constantine will not truly allow John to remove himself from the map. Rather, Constantine will choose to keep John alive and employ him in a novel and innovative way. According to spoilers for Days of Our Lives, when John awakens from his sleep, he'll sense some terror rising. Follow along for updates on the perplexing news he'll encounter. Here we go once more, with Days of Our Lives giving the pawn another go. Undoubtedly, Constantine is not merely delving into John's past to take a brief stroll down memory lane. In addition, he intends to make use of and exploit it. That's what a con guy does, after all, and from the way Constantine has been manipulating that enigmatic card, it's obvious he's not merely trying to get John to reminisce about his pawn days. John and Constantine first met in the park on Friday's episode, which ended on a cliffhanger. However, spoilers indicated that by Monday, they would be delving into the Private Eye's history. However, it's going to be even more than that, as Soap Opera Digest teases, as Constantine is going to trigger the pawn and put him through a terrible trial run. Yes, exactly. Constantine will attempt to bring the pawn back and then relegate him to the back of John's memory until he finds a purpose for him. In the process, the Greek con artist also shares with John some background information about himself and a woman known as Katharina. Who is Katharina, then? It's unclear, but according to Stephen Nichols, who spoke with Digest, John mentioning the name leaves Steve very concerned. Although she doesn't appear to be someone we've met previously, it sounds like John and Steve may have met her back in the 1980s when they were still big boys. Additionally, whatever occurred with her or to her was so terrible that Steve is attempting to conceal it from John. And that's for his own safety, Nichols tells Digest. Steve is aware that John's memory of particular events might be extremely distressing for him, he says. Since it has a connection to Victor, it appears that Constantine is aware of the fact that this incident occurred in Greece as well. Is she connected in any way to the Kyriakis family? A former partner of Victor's? Does she have any connection to Stefano, or does she play a role in John's selection as the pawn? We're positive we haven't even scratched the surface of this mystery, since there are questions upon questions. For John's benefit, though, it had better be resolved quickly. Considering that Steve isn't helping him by keeping him in the dark, particularly now that Constantine is in charge of John's lethal parallel personality. Perhaps, just perhaps, John will be able to reconcile his past and present, his broken mind, and put the pawn to rest once and for all by learning what he accomplished as a lethal assassin. We heal from our past by confronting it and making peace with it, not by running away from it. Currently on Days of Our Lives, Gabby is biding her time behind bars at Statesville Prison. Meanwhile, Stefan is being forced to embrace a life of crime by Clyde, just to keep her safe in prison. Fans already know that Gabby's portrayer Camila Bannis has exited the soap for good. Thus, a prison stint on charges of offing Li Shin became the perfect way to take her character off the canvas.